Let's check out this discussion on drill music.
I mean, let's be honest. Some of the lyrics, some of the words in drill music are pretty horrific, aren't they?
It depends how you're looking at it. Like, some of the words in like action movies are pretty horrific too, but it's not real life.
Rubbish. First of all, action movies, like whether it be the Indispensables or Rambo or I don't know, Fast and Furious or I don't know, Marvel or whatever. These are fictional movies. Like they're not even under the genre of like documentaries or real life or anything. They're fictional movies. But when drill rappers make music videos, which are basically little movies, 3 minutes 45 movies, they talk as if, it's real. They talk about stabbing and shooting people like it's real. Not only that, there's many times in these videos when certain of these rappers are talking about killing, stabbing, shooting and killing certain people, and these people have died. And not only that, they talk about where they killed him, how they killed him, where they were running when they caught them. So first of all, that's a stupid analogy because movies are fictional. All these action movies are fictional and they don't pretend to be real. But drill music, all these people are not saying, I'm not saying they're fake and this is only entertainment and stuff. They're saying, no, I stab people, I shoot people, I kill people, and I'm on this. And they mention names as well. So that's a lie. That's a lie.
It depends how you're looking at it. Like, some of the words in like action movies are pretty horrific too, but it's not real life.
You say that, but I mean, I look at some of these lyrics about, the use of blades and knives, and we kind of know that in London and many of our cities we've got increasing knife crime and all the rest of it. And I put Rambo blades in chests. Take that risk by CB. It's not good, is it? I mean, does drill music need to clean itself up? It's really my question to you.
Why is he smiling? Why is he smiling? The worst thing is that this guy, Nigel Farage, is a big time racist. And it's unfortunate that 90% of what this racist says, Nigel Farage, is that you're making him look like he's speaking common sense to you. Because I think this guy, he's a producer. I think he has his own studios. Like, you see lots of clips of him, like over social media where he's like, I don't know, someone's in his studio rapping or something. Like, I'm a Muslim, I don't listen to music, but I've seen this guy around. I've seen his face around social media. Like, you see it on like Instagram, TikTok, and even some clips on YouTube. So, but how is it? What's sad is that you got this big racist Nigel Farage looking like he's chatting sense, to you, a big face in the music industry, and it's like you're chatting rubbish and you're making him seem smart and like he's speaking like the truth and so forth. Like, the fact that you're making Nigel Farage look good shows how messed up you are, and you're smiling. Why are you smiling for? You're smiling. Knife crimes people are losing sons to this. People are dying. People are losing brothers, cousins, even, like people are losing family members. Why are you smiling for? Just because you make your money off making beats or you got rich out of all this stuff, it's not funny, man. I don't know why you're smirking for. Also, what pushed me to make this video was that I saw two clips. One on Instagram was by this guy, and he was saying like, who chose you? Who nominated you to do this conversation on drill music when it affects so many people? And there was another guy on TikTok who was talking about how, like, this was irresponsible for you to do, man, because drill music affects a lot of, the black community, or not even just black community, lower class communities that grow up on council estates and stuff. And This was very irresponsible, man. You made Nigel Farage look good, like he's got common sense and he's like a down to earth person. And you're a young black guy, and it's making you look dumb. You representing black people. You know what I'm saying? You're a young black guy. You're like, even me who's not in the music industry or anything or so forth. I've seen your face around, and it's really sad, man. It's really sad.
Honest. Some of the lyrics, some of the words in drill music are pretty horrific, aren't they?
It depends how you're looking at it. Like, some of the words in movies are pretty horrific too, but it's not real life.
You say that, but I mean, I look at some of these lyrics about, the use of blades and knives, and we kind of know that in London and many of our cities, we've got increasing knife crime and all the rest of it. And I put Rambo blades in chests. Take That Risk by CB. It's not good, is it? I mean, does drill music need to clean itself up? It's really my question to you.
Drill music's like an expression of freedom of speech. Like, it's creativity. It's an opportunity for the younger generation to kind of make something of themselves. So when they're in the studio, when they're doing music videos and that, they're not doing what I stereotype them for doing. Do you see what I'm saying? So it takes them away.
First of all, it's freedom of speech. So you're saying, out of all the subjects, out of all the different subjects you could talk about when you grow up in a council estate or grow up in the ends, out of all the subjects, you decide to talk about 99.9% of the time stabbing, shooting, killing people and taking ops out, whether they're from a different estate, from their different road or a different area of London. Out of all the different things that you see on a council estate, if you live on a council estate, the vast majority of things you see is not negative. So for example, you live in a council estate, you see tons of kids in uniform, getting on double-decker bus and going to school, getting their qualifications. If you go to any council estate, and you have the big high-rise blocks, those big tower blocks, the vast majority of them kids in that buildings, the young black males or white males or Asian males, they are not drug dealers, they're not stabbers, they're not shooters, they are not drug dealers, like, they're not into crime. Most of them, they go to school, get their qualifications, pass, and go on to work. Go on to college or go on to work retail jobs in, Boots, Sainsbury's, JD's, Foot Locker, Tesco's, Superdrug. The vast majority of people you see in a council estate, there's a small number of people that are the drug dealers, and shooters and stabbers and gang members. The thousands of black boys that live, in these high-rise buildings, are not gang members, are not killers, are not stabbers and so forth. So when you say it's freedom of speech, you're telling me out of all the different subjects that you could talk about, you talk about a insignificant small number of people, that are stabbing, shooting and killing people. When there's so many more, you could rap about people going to school every day. No, not every couple of minutes, like, you'll see school buses, you'll see double-decker buses with school kids on it. You don't rap about that. You see people going to work, you don't rap about that. It's just lies. It's just freedom of speech. The only thing you could find to talk about is stabbing a kid. No, you don't want to talk about going to school. You don't want to talk about people going to work. You don't want to talk about mothers doing work around the home. Like everyone who lives in a council estate, they have a mother that's either always working, or always cleaning. Either she's out at work, or she's always cleaning up the house, like making meals, washing the clothes, giving the kids baths or whatever, or making them meals. Why is that not in drill tunes? Why are you not talking about that? Because that happens in every household. There are not stabbings happening in every. There's not a stabber from every household on the council estate. There's not a shotter from every, household on the council estates. You're just lying. You're just lying. Anyway, so what did he say? It's freedom of speech. Then he went on to say, they're not talking. The people that are rapping are not talking about what they actually do. Yeah, it's what other people do. So they're liars. They're liars. So they lie. They lie about stabbing and shooting people, yeah, and they make money and they get out their ends and they pollute the community that they're from. Crazy.
From potentially any kind of drill music's like an expression and a freedom of speech. Like it's creativity, it's an opportunity for the younger generation to kind of make something of themselves. So when they're in the studio, when they're doing music videos and that, they're not doing whatever it is that other people will stereotype them for doing. Do you see what I'm saying? So it takes them away from potentially any kind of street activity, any kind of violence, X, Y, and Z, if that's what their life consumes of. But a lot of this is like, it's visual storytelling.
So you're saying it's not real life?
No.
So this stuff,
yeah.
By the way, I know this is only a fraction of the words that are used are like this, and I get that, and I'm not trying...
You're lying. There's lots of tunes out there where they said, I shot this person, and I stabbed this person, and we killed this person in this place. They actually talk about where they killed the person, and how they died, and how they chased them down. What are you doing? You're lying. You're lying. The guy's just blatantly lying. And the only thing is, Nigel Farage is too ignorant to know, yeah, about the genre too much or what's going on in it, to call him out on this crap.
In a bad light. I'm just saying,
actually, any kind of street activity, any kind of violence, X, Y, and Z, if that's what their life consumes of. But a lot of this is like, it's visual storytelling.
So you're saying it's not real life?
No.
So this stuff,
yeah.
By the way, I know this is only a fraction of the words that are used are like this, and I get that, and I'm not trying to put the whole genre in a bad light. I'm just saying, wouldn't it be better for drill music as a whole to get rid of some of this stuff?
What makes you say that, though?
Well, we're living in a...
Would it be better for drill music to stop talking about killing and stabbing people from your own community? Would it be better if they stopped talking about stabbing and killing each other, if other people that are you, live in the same housing as you, living in the same conditions as you? Why would you say that? Either this guy is just ignorant, or he's insincere. Either he's actually got a very low IQ, yeah, or he's very ignorant person, yeah, or yeah, he's just insincere. And I don't think it's that he's ignorant, because he speaks very well, even though he's chatting crap, yeah. You could tell he knows how to speak. You can see he's waiting for him to finish his statements. He's listening and this, that, and the other stuff. But he's just blatantly lying. It's not that he doesn't. It's not that the guy is not. It's not that the guy It's not that he's not intelligent guy. You can tell he's listening. He's not interrupting him. He's listening this, that, and the other. He's just being insincere. I hope they paid you a lot of money for this, because because you basically sold your ethics, because you're not an ignorant person. You know about music. You know there's people that talk about stabbing and killing people. You're not ignorant. You're actually just being disingenuous. And disingenuous is a nice way of basically saying lying.
Society where what we say, whether we cause offence to each other, has become a much more sensitive issue than it's ever been before.
And whatever it is that other people will stereotype them for doing. Do you see what I'm saying? So it takes them away from potentially any kind of street activity, any kind of violence, X, Y, and Z, if that's what their life consumes of. But a lot of this is like, it's visual storytelling.
So you're saying it's not real life?
No.
So this stuff,
yeah.
By the way, I know this is only a fraction of the words that are used are like this, and I get that, and I'm not trying to put the whole genre in a bad light. I'm just saying, wouldn't it be better for drill music as a whole to get rid of some of this stuff?
What makes you say that, though?
Well, we're living in a society where what we say, whether we cause offence to each other, has become a much more sensitive issue than it's ever been before. I'm going to talk later on about a comedian. Tells a joke and gets reported to the police, and it wasn't that bad a joke, really. And I'm just saying to you that I think some of this language is it's almost encouraging violence.
It's not, though. It's not always encouraging violence. Sometimes they're actually talking about making money and buying their mum a car and moving out of the areas.
I get that.
We need to not focus on...
You're lying. You're a liar. For every one song that you have about, buying your mum a car and getting out the area and this, that and the other, I can bring you 1,000 songs that are talking about just stabbing people and killing people and the different ways they kill people and how, what I'm saying, they had no mercy in killing them. For every one song that you bring about these so-called positive things, they're like little drops. They're like little drops in the ocean of badness. The vast majority of drill tunes are not about getting out of the ends or buying your mum a car. And secondly, it's a lie. Like, you're saying, first of all, you said they were lying. They're not actually killing and stabbing people, which is a lie itself. Yeah, they are. Yeah. So they're lying. According to you, they're lying about stabbing and killing people. Yeah, that music, is listened to people in the community or on the ends. Yeah, is polluting the ends. Yeah, and then what happens is that these people are getting out their ends, talking about stabbing and killing people, even though you claim they're not. And that energy and that desensitization and so forth, is left in the ends and on council estates while they live out in the countryside or something. And I'm going to be honest with you. This stuff, yeah, it does lead to violence. I was in Stratford, Westfield, not too long ago. Yeah, I was sitting down eating something, doing some editing on my phone for my videos. Yeah, I couldn't really hear what's happening outside because I had my headphones in and I was listening to the videos and editing. So, but I could see there was commotion like happening in front of me. Yeah, after a certain amount of time, and I could hear shouting because it was so loud. It was actually starting to come in my earbuds. So what happened is that I looked in front of me and there was two groups of black boys. Yeah, and what happened is that you could tell one group was older. The one group with the older boys was about 18, 19, like 7, I would say 18, 19, early 20s. There was another group, there's about 3 of them. There was another group of like 15, 16, 17-year-olds. There was a whole lot more of them. And what happened is that they were, what basically I got from it is that they passed each other, yeah? And they must have made eye contact. Because as you're walking down the street, if you're in a group or you're by yourself, you're walking down the street, you make eye contact with people because you're looking where you're going. So they must have made eye contact. But because a lot of these guys are raised up because they got no fathers, you know what I'm saying? There's not much older male role models for them to see. Also they're listening to this drill music about stab, stab, kill, kill. You know what I'm saying? Everyone is ops. Everyone is, who's not from my road or my estate or it's ops and stuff. They're walking around, yeah? And normally if you're, as a normal person, like what you should do is if you're walking down the street, you make eye contact with someone, yeah? Either you nod, yeah? Or you don't, you just look away because you realise that you don't know the person, you're looking where you're walking, you make eye contact and you just turn away, yeah? And that's what most people do. But when you're young and you grow up on when you're young and you're growing up on a council estate, you don't really have a father in your life and you don't really have good male role models, and you're listening to all this kill, kill, stab, stab, stab anyone, who's not from my road or my ends and stuff is an op and this, that, and so forth. You start that music stays with you even if it's not in your head. Your earbuds or your earphones or whatever, and you're walking around with a screw face and all this kind of stuff. So when two groups of black boys like these two did, they made eye contact, yeah? The normal thing is that you make eye contact and you look away because you don't recognize the person, or you nod, yeah, but out of like just acknowledgement, like cool, because you made eye contact. But with these young boys, yeah, they got the wrong understanding of what a man is, of what manhood is, of what being a real man or a strong man is. So they make eye contact now, and rather than do the common sense thing or logical thing and look away, they just keep on staring at each other, yeah. And then what happens is that eventually someone says, "Who are you looking at?" Because none of them want to look away. Because they feel if I look away, the other group is going to think I'm a waste man, or I'm a chief, or I'm a scared, or I'm a fool, or I'm a coward, or whatever. So they just keep on staring at each other. And like what happened when I saw this incident between them, they passed each other, they made eye contact, and then that one group said to the other, "Who you looking at? Who you looking at? Who you looking at? Who you looking at?" Next thing I know, one of the guys just pulls out a big knife, yeah, stabs two of them in the chest. This is in Westfield. Like, it's the vast majority of people in the area was mothers with kids. It was basically mothers with kids, and pregnant women. Like, it was actually the McDonald's area and stuff like that. This guy just pulled out a knife, yeah, and it was one of the 14, 15 years old. He just pulled out this massive knife, stabbed two of the older ones, yeah, in the chest, and this, that, and the other. Then the older ones started picking up chairs and dashing it and stuff like that and so forth. So the thing is, yeah, so the point I'm trying to make is that when people are walking around with this music and kill, stab, everyone is ops, apart from my friends and this, that, and the other, it creates this aura, it creates this environment, it creates this energy of negativity and young boys walking around with screw faces. So to say that it doesn't affect anyone, that's a lie.
What it is that you guys want to focus on?
I think more sensitive issue than it's ever been before. I'm going to talk later on about a comedian. Tells a joke and gets reported to the police, and it wasn't that bad a joke, really. And I'm just saying to you that I think some of this language is almost encouraging violence.
It's not, though. It's not always encouraging violence. Sometimes they're actually talking about making money and buying their mum a car and moving out of the areas.
I get that.
We need to not focus on what it is that you guys want to focus on, because it's like Joe is creative storytelling, and all they're doing is trying to use their talents to tell a story.
Creative storytelling about stabbing, killing, and shooting people and bragging about it and laughing about it and mocking the dead.
Doesn't mean that they are the story. It doesn't mean that that's their everyday life. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying. I understand a lot of it is about aspiration, a lot of it is about ambition, and I get all of that. As it turns out, it looks like the courts are going to agree with you, and the courts are going to say that these words can't be used in cases. I just wonder.
As they should.
I just wonder, don't you sometimes think that goes a bit far?
Sometimes I think GTA goes a bit far. I think action movies goes a bit far. We got Fast and Furious. People are driving around, they still get speeding tickets. It's offensive. It's offences. It's crimes as well. Do you get what I mean? But
first of all, GTA is a computer game. And let's say GTA influences people. Okay, yeah. Okay, there should be rulings on that as well. If it's influenced, if it's studied and it's showing that mentally that it's affecting people and this, that, and the other and so forth, then something should be done about it. Just like drill music. Yeah? And as for Fast and Furious, please don't tell me that someone watches Fast and Furious and there's someone driving in a jungle and they jump from one cliff to another. Don't tell me that people get in their cars and start driving like that in real life. Come on. In Fast and Furious, they'd be driving, they'll jump through a building, come out the other side. Please don't tell me people are getting in their cars after watching Fast and Furious. And there's influence, because it's fiction. Everyone watches Fast and Fiction and knows it's fiction. Everyone knows Grand Theft Auto is a video game. And it may be affecting people, but then you can't compare them to drill music where this guy is talking like he actually kills people and stab people on the regular. The people that make drill music are saying that I do this 100%. I'm not fake, I'm real. I'm not a talker. I actually harm people. So you can't compare them. It's a weak analogy.
Are we looking into that though?
All right. Just wonder.
As they should.
I just wonder, don't you sometimes think that goes a bit far?
Sometimes I think GTA goes a bit far. I think action movies goes a bit far. We got Fast and Furious. People are driving around. They still get speeding tickets. It's offensive. It's offences. It's crimes as well. Do you get what I mean? But I'll be looking into that though.
All right, fine. Well, listen, have a great Glastonbury. Thanks for coming on. And I know some of you at home won't know much about drill music, and I'm not here to demonise it. I just think some of the words, perhaps sometimes, if they weren't there, it might be a little bit better. That's just my feeling on it.
How did you make this big time racist? Yeah, look like he's chatting sense. How did you make this big time racist, Nigel Farage? Yeah, look like he's actually chatting sense, and you made young black boys look insincere. You made young black boys look deceptive, and you made young black boys look like for destroying their own community. This was terrible. This was terrible, 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 terrible. Like, yeah. Like that guy said off Instagram. Who chose you? Who chose you, yeah? Who chose you to speak on these issues, man? Like, who arranged that Nigel Farage and you are going to sit down in this room in this professional setting with the proper camera angles and all this kind of stuff and actually put out this polished, edited, footage and display how ignorant young blacks are? You fell for it. You fell for it. You fell for it. That was the biggest, number one, nonsense I've seen for a long time, man. Ignorance is not bliss, man.